good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever or whenever you're listening from. My name is Abigail, and welcome to season 2 of The Grit. It is great to be back. How are you all? It's been a while, I think like a year since I last put something out. Lots of things have been happening with my new job, which you would have heard about in my last podcast, so it's not really new anymore. But a lot of growth in that. So I have been really busy. Me and my partner are buying a house, so that's very exciting and almost like impossible for people of my age. So we're very, very privileged to be able to be doing that. And we're currently in the solicitor phase, which, takes like 6 months. So that's a thing that is also happening. What else has been happening in the last year? Oh, big news. I have my firearm certificate and my shotgun certificate after 3 years of waiting. So almost as long as this podcast has been running, it has taken me to get my firearms. That's something that I can go into a little bit more. If you guys wanted to talk about that, we can talk about it. Just because I don't think a unique set of circumstances, but obviously my wife is from America. That had a lot to do with it, but it was a whole thing for a long time, and I am very relieved that is now firmly behind me. I had a really great firearms officer come out, and it was sorted within a couple of weeks as soon as we got over the hump that we needed to. And now I can buy a gun, which is amazing and also a little bit weird. So expect that soon. I think I'm going to put out a video of the buying process because I never actually see people buy guns, and it's a very new prospect to me to be able to do that. It's not like a car. I don't know if you can just go and shoot a new gun. So that'll be a whole thing that I need to investigate, which will be fun. I'm looking forward to it. But I hope everything has been okay with you guys in the last year. It's great to be back with you, and we are going to kick off with one of my big passions, which is deer. As you all know, I'm a big deer person. And we're going to be speaking to a good friend of mine called Megan Rowland, who is going to talk to us about all things deer, all things nature Scott. And we're going to talk a little bit about Hindsight, which, if you are unfamiliar, is a women's CIC dedicated to engagement and getting women involved in deer stalking and upskilling women already within the sector. So really great project, something that I'm really proud to be a part of. And we're going to talk that today. So enjoy. Great to be back for season 2, and I will see you in a little bit. Always feels weird introducing a friend, doesn't it?
I know.
Because it's like, I'm here with Megan to the audience of one.
Just do Nancy and be like, this is Mummy, this lady here.
Yeah. This is Megan. That's all you need to know.
We have, if Scotty or Morton or whoever's at the house, she's like, this is Scotty, that guy. No,
that guy.
That guy.
You should know him.
You should meet him, that guy right
that
there.
That guy right there.
He's not been staying at our house for the last week. Anything. It's fine.
He's just a dude.
Oh, she's funny.
Well, thanks for making the time anyway. I really appreciate it because I know you're super busy with kiddos and everything.
Life.
Sponsored walk today.
I know. Sponsored walk, nursery walk. They've
got
fundraising for money for the new nursery.
Nice.
So, yeah, just buying all the nice new toys
Going far?
and things. And I don't think it's too far.
Making the kids work for it.
I think that they had planned to do a much longer walk of an hour or 2. And
how old are the kids?
Between 3 and nearly 5.
Yeah, so make them walk for an hour.
Yeah. So I think a few parents kind of decided that a shorter walk might be
suitable,
probably a bit more suitable for wee folk. So. Yeah, it'll be fine. Nice little amble. It'll be fine through the town.
It'll be fine. Between the kids, you're obviously doing deer stuff.
Yeah.
Why specifically deer? What was the
Did you just come out of the womb one day and you were like, this is it, deer,
special
for me?
interest, decided.
Yeah, immediately deer.
I don't know. I mean, it's a funny one because I grew up in Orkney, so I had it's an island with no deer. Although there were historically deer there during like the Neolithic, I think they took deer over. They 18 years of not having them, and maybe that was it. Like that sort of
the absence
deprivation,
of deer.
absence of deer led to an interest in being where they were. So when we moved to here, to the Highlands, I started out. I moved down to do a degree, with UHI, University of Hind and Islands, and
what did you get the degree in?
Oh, I didn't. I never finished it. I got about 18 months in and went, you know what, this is just not...
Sod it.
This is not floating my boat. This is not working.
That's totally fair.
Environmental sciences, so just a decent foundational kind of degree. But, I just wasn't working for me. And I thought, well, what I could do is, if I get a degree, I've still got to get all the experience anyway, because no one will employ you if you don't have 30 years experience. So
for an entry job,
for an entry level job, exactly. So I was like, right, okay, I will go and get the experience of a whole heap of things and see what I'm actually enjoying, and then try and get a qualification in that direction, sort of do it a little bit about face.
Right. Would you have done a university qualification or just any qualification?
What do you mean, with?
Like when you were pursuing a qualification, you said,
Yeah.
I'll get qualified.
Yeah. Just way? If I'd have found something, if I'd been doing ecological surveying or whatever, then
okay, right.
Okay, maybe then a degree in more specifically in ecology might actually be better, or just whatever.
Gotcha.
Okay. I might have discovered I had a love of statistics and done that.
Hey, I'm sure you're not the first.
I definitely wouldn't have been, but that wasn't my calling, thank God.
I hated statistics when I did it in uni.
I did as well. Horrendous.
I went on to an ecology course. It's like a biology, ecology hybrid thing. Yeah. Natural history. Sounded boring as hell, but very, very interesting. And devastated when I got there. And it was just statistics. Horrific. Very little field work. Anyway,
exactly. No, so that was kind of... So I kind of flipped it all on its head and thought, right, I'll get the experience first, and then whatever I'm kind of drawn towards, I'll see what qualifications might tie in well with that at a later date. So I can at least... see what works for me rather than doing it that way. So came down from Orkney, started volunteering locally with RSPB Scotland, did some stuff with Game and Wildlife Conservation Trust. Who else? Scottish Mink Initiative. It's just a car outside the window. It's all good. Scottish Mink Initiative, and just all around the place, and did quite a lot during that time. Really interesting, a lot of bird surveying, a lot of habitat surveying, setting mink rafts and sort of species surveys, all sorts of stuff. And it was during my time with RSPB Scotland that my line manager, we'd been going up to do a survey one morning and had passed some deer at the side of the road, and I'd said, just kind of in passing, I'd be interested to do the whole field to fork thing. So I grew up vegetarian as well. So that was kind of...
Did you?
Yeah, so it was
raised vegetarian?
Born and raised vegetarian.
Wow,
so
okay.
I'd never really eaten meat up until I was about 18. And I thought, right, if I'm going to do it, then I want to know, can I actually do it field to fork? Can I take can I actually pull the trigger, process the animal? What's
can
the
I
process?
take responsibility for
and
it?
if I can't, then I probably shouldn't be eating meat.
Fair.
So, that was just my kind of reasoning on it, having come to it.
It's a solid reasoning.
So I kind of said in passing, oh yeah, I'd be really interested to do the whole field to fork process. And he went, oh, well, maybe try get you out stalking sometime.
Yeah.
Didn't think anything more of it until a few weeks later. I got a text message, do you want to go stalking this weekend? And I was like, yeah, I think I do. Let's just see where this goes. Went out, spent the whole day touring about, shot a stag.
Red stag. Yeah.
Red stag, yeah. And thought, oh, this is actually quite involved. And there's everything from the actual stalking, rifle handling, processing the animal, gralking, removing all the pluck and everything on the hill. Taking the animal back, lardering it properly, processing the head for taking home afterwards, like all that side of things. I was like, oh, hang on, this actually.
Had you had any experience with
Like,
firearms before that point, or
no,
was
my
it?
dad had a shotgun,
Right.
and it was like more of a family heirloom than he actively shot with it. It was kind of like my grandfather's, so it wasn't anything that like we was particularly exposed to. So, yeah, we'd done it like when we moved down. We did a little bit of target shooting at a local range, just like with 2.2s. So it wasn't kind of anything like shooting wildlife, shooting at targets or live targets or anything like that. So it was all very new. And I thought, you know what, this is interesting. I am intrigued. I want to know more, and basically started off down this path of learning about wildlife management and land management, and thinking, okay, this is definitely something I can do more with. Just went around local shoots, had a dog, so I did a bit of picking up and a bit of beating, just on pheasant shoots. But it wasn't, like, it was interesting and it was good, like the sort of take home some meat at the end of it, but it wasn't where my interest was.
It didn't scratch the itch.
And exactly, and I was like, right, deer are definitely what I want to be involved with here. And I went up to UHI in the North Highland College, their North Highland College section, and did a 2-year course. First year in like gamekeeping, and then the next year in gamekeeping wildlife management. So you're on placement while you're learning. So it was kind of very hands-on, which, like, for me, that was suited my style of learning as well. Rather than being classroom based, it was very much like, okay, I'm actually hands-on, learning the skills on the ground, and went from there. Really.
And it's just been like,
and it's been that was kind of like the starting. So it was a little bit of a meandering path to get where I was. So then ended up working for about 6 years full time as a stalker, based in Sutherland, where I am now.
and how do you get employment as a stalker? Because
Yeah.
you don't see that on LinkedIn.
No, you don't. I mean, it's usually a lot of these things. It's like, it's who you know. It's word of mouth. Yeah.
Okay.
As it was, I was lucky to do my training and then be able to work on the same estate.
Right. So they sort of kept you on then.
Exactly.
And just...
Yeah. Exactly. So that was kind of worked well for me. For a lot of other people, they'll have to go like rural recruits, or, there's a few different websites out there that you can keep an eye on for different careers, and rural jobs. So, I mean, so much of it is just time on the ground and learning the skills, and skills, and not just the shooting part, which for a lot of people seems to be like the sort of
the focal
point of it, because it is.
It's the loudest bit. And
exactly.
Yeah.
And it's the bit that sort of makes it onto all the YouTube films
channels,
and
absolutely, yeah.
But it's I was lucky that the person I worked with was into the habitat management side of things, like really clued into all that. So I learned a lot about actually writing deer management plans, and understanding kind of how to survey your ground, how to survey your deer, what you're looking at, setting objectives, working to them, more complexity than just go out, shoot some deer, which was a really good foundation.
And I guess that's the thing too that's different in this country specifically, with your average deer stalker that'll go out on their own permission, or if they're employed as stalking. It's not just you have to cull these deer back. You need to manage them. You need to be aware of the population. You need to be,
there is to work with your neighbours on a landscape scale. I mean, it's all that side of things, these sort of interpersonal relationships. So working with Nature Scott as a wildlife management officer is kind of where I'm at the moment. Just coming back to it as I've been on maternity leave. Yeah. So before I went on leave, a lot of my role was working with deer management groups. So in Scotland, in the uplands and increasingly in the lowlands, we've got sort of like landscape scale groups where estates and landowners can get together, like with, say, like Forestry and Land Scotland, with Nature Scott, potentially any other kind of interested parties. I mean, like community councils in theory can attend just to kind of have an input into like how deer are managed in the area. We have their kind of like national objectives for deer management, like target densities, target habitat conditions. So all this gets discussed at deer management group meetings. Part of my role was kind of to act as liaison between government and like the guys on the ground, basically, who attend these groups, whether that's the landowners or the stalkers themselves. I don't know quite what my role will be once I'm back to work, but hopefully deer adjacent. But
So Nature Scott obviously is all nature of Scott.
All nature of the
Of
Scotland.
Scott.
yeah, basically. So yeah, they cover everything from like sort of policy side of things, right down to like species licensing for not right down to, that sounds like they're the bottom of the pecking order, but it's like, if you wanted a license to like film a protected species, they would be who you go to. Or like you want to set up a marathon run, but it goes to a protected area, like they would have to give you the licensing for that. So it's like mitigating damage, potential damage, all that side of things, basically.
Well, I can't see why they wouldn't put you back on deer.
Oh, who knows?
Maybe
Hopefully. I think it's just the time budget that I'm now on with like small people. It's kind of like how useful can it be? So I might not be like going to deer management group meetings all over the country.
Yeah.
Like
well, this is kid number 2, isn't it?
This is number 2. Yeah.
Number 2. How's it going?
It's good. Yeah. Yeah, he's a hoot.
Yeah.
One of each now, so that's quite fun.
Yeah.
Very different characters, very different personalities.
Yeah, they are. When I met them, it's weird seeing them. I don't have kids.
Yeah.
So it was weird seeing him the first time when I came up.
Yeah.
And he was a baby, like baby.
No, because he was 5 weeks old or something.
Yeah, not very old at all. And then the time jump was like what, 9 months, something like that.
No, I mean he's just turned a year, so he's like must be getting on for about 11 months.
Yeah.
Near enough.
And he's like standing up.
Yeah. Like
crazy.
A little person.
Yeah.
All of a sudden. It's weird.
Yeah.
The whole having kids thing. It's a trip.
I mean, you feed him a little bit of venison every now and again, right?
He loves it. Well, they both do.
I think there's something in it.
I'm convinced.
I think there's some sort of like.
I think there was I'm trying to think who it was now. I was saying about it, and they said like because we've evolved with deer, like because for a long time they were like our primary source of protein. That like in terms of like big animal before domesticated stock and all the rest of it, like we have evolved to like their meat is like really good for us because it's what we've evolved to process as like humans, like sort of species to species dependency kind of thing. Yeah, I can't remember where that was. I'm gonna have to look into that.
I would imagine that is sort of very global because of how prolific deer are and deer species are. I think I've spoken to a couple of people who aren't in the hunting space or the deer management space, or any hunting adjacent spaces, and the amount of people that will say, "Oh, I only thought that there was one deer."
Yeah,
crazy.
I know. It's like no, there's
quite a
one
lot.
or two. There's one or two.
Quite a lot.
There's a book coming out. Again, let me chase it up. But he wrote a book called Bovids of the World, and he's done one of like Felidae and Canids of the World, and he's got another one out, Cervids of the World, and it's like
cats, dogs, and straight down into deer.
Straight down into deer, and it's and I like Bovidae, all antelopes and all that sort of side of things. He's done one on that. I've got a copy next door. And it's great. It's like Pokemon, but for real. It's like it's a great book.
I love what's that app? Merlin.
Yeah. Oh, Merlin's
that's
so
like
good.
Pokemon.
Merlin's
in real.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's just brilliant. You could just sit there, put it on, and then see what's rocking about because it'll pick up on stuff that you think, oh, I didn't even know we had those here.
Yeah, literally.
It's cool.
I love Merlin. But on the topic of
not to go off totally.
Gotta catch them all.
Gotta catch them all.
On the topic of how good deer meat is, I think that feeds in to something that I'm quite interested in, which is, I also got into deer for wanting to take more responsibility for my food. I think that's all roads lead to deer, really, don't they? In some way, when you want to start looking at your own food,
ethical eating, self-sufficiency kind of side of things.
Yeah, and a lot of these like older breed, sheep. You've got some
little
Hebrideans, which are like my favourite things in the world.
Yeah. They're pretty cute.
Yeah. You croft, which was, for me, a relatively new concept.
Yeah.
Till I met you. And I still don't quite grasp it yet.
I think you're not alone. There's a lot of people who've got crafts who are kind of like, I still don't really get it, but it's all good. It's an historic system of, like, typically and classically land tenure. And so, like, it's like a small holding. When they had the clearances, a lot of people were taken down from kind of inland, all the straths and glens and things. People were cleared to make room for, like, intensive sheep farming, relative intensive sheep farming. They were then put onto little land holdings of like a handful of acres at most, which would be enough basically for them to be able to have a little bit of livestock, possibly like a cow, a pig, a handful of sheep, and be able to crop some ground so that they were able to kind of self-sustain, and while they then worked in industry on the coast. That was kind of the gist of a croft, was it was kind of a way for people to kind of supplement themselves and their families. It's still kind of has that role, so like most people won't make a living off a croft, but it's a nice supplement to like other stuff you do, like having a job and a sort of more
playing a part in the capitalist hellscape we live in.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's very succinctly put. So like we've got a sheep and like just a small flock. At the moment we're keeping it small, but I want to be able to like build up in future and be able to like do a little bit more with the meat, do more with the fleeces, do more with skins, be able to actually. I'd like to be able to use them for, like, so the Hebrideans, they're a native rare breed. They're not on the kind of watch list because there's quite a good, strong kind of community of breeders and keepers of them, and who maintain the kind of the pedigree system and keep the breed kind of a standard and keep it pure for the sake of it. But they're a great little sheep, so some people do cross them out to like a bigger tup, male lamb, and they can have a sort of a more commercial sized lamb. So they're a great wee sheep for that. They're lovely to handle, they eat well.
Very, very tasty.
Very incredibly tasty.
Incredibly.
Which is what it's got to come down to as well, to a certain degree at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just great. I love them. I'd like to be able to do a little bit more kind of, so part of crofting is that all the crofters are sort of shareholders in a common grazing area as well, of like rougher ground.
Right.
So I'd like to be able to like utilise our common ground a lot more, because it's just become one of these things it's there, a handful of people use it, but it's not, like a lot of commons, it's not that well utilised. So yeah, that's kind of goals for like future.
And you want to get more animals as well as the sheep?
Yeah, I'd like to be able to, more animals. Yeah. Again, keeping it kind of, while we're sorting things out and getting our kind of up to speed, limiting it to sheep. But I would love to be able to get cows. That's kind of, cows definitely, possibly pigs.
Would you go down the rare breed?
I think I'll probably still go down the rare breed again. Again, just because, in terms of handleability, their just ruggedness, I mean,
they seem hardy.
They are.
That's the thing.
Like our little guys, our little sheep, they're just tough. And it's not to say that you're not taking care of them. You do, but a lot of the continental breeds that have kind of become popular in the commercial sphere, like because people want a product at the end of the day in the supermarket, but they need a lot more kind of hands-on care, or they have to overwinter inside or whatever. I think the native breeds, they're just that bit more capable of dealing with the habitat and the environment and the climate that we have here, which over winter especially can be pretty rough. So yeah, cows definitely. I'd love to be able to have our own
cows on the agenda.
A little house cow, that would be absolute ideal. But yeah, I think we'll probably start with a couple of like steers, just to kind of get them on the ground and start doing good stuff. And then, like, build up to having resident resident girl cows. That's the, some resident heifers. That'd be lovely.
You said you've all got common grazing that you share. Is crofting quite involved as a community?
Yes, yeah. I mean, it's historically like was a, and it had to be a community objective, because like now you go around and a lot of crofts will have like a tractor and or various other bits of machinery, but historically it was human labour. You know, it was human endeavour that got stuff done. We didn't have, you know, diggers and tractors and quads and all this sort of stuff, so it had to be a community endeavour. And we've talked about it, but the whole kind of idea of like self-sufficiency is great, but realistically, self-sufficiency it's hard to the point of impossible. You know, like true absolute self-sufficiency, you still need
It is
like
very
a community
sense
of
the word of
Yeah.
like you on your own hiding in a bunker with
Exactly.
6 guns and 1,000 rounds of ammunition is going to sort you out for
yeah.
a week.
I mean,
You
that's
can't
not,
eat bullets
no, exactly,
and you'll run out of tins.
exactly, and that's not, it's not sort of sustainable at the end of the day. Whereas like the whole kind of crofting community model, where you're actually like in theory pulling together, everyone can kind of lend a hand, whether you're gathering sheep or just, you know, needing a hand picking tatties or whatever. Everybody can then kind of pool resources and, you know, help look after one another. I mean, that's
And I suppose blocking knowledge gaps too.
Totally.
The best diagram I ever saw of that was, if you could picture like a fried egg, maybe I'll like throw a picture up, but it's like a fried egg, and instead of where the yolk is, it's a hole. And then
Yeah.
you'd throw another fried egg on top of that.
Yeah.
And that hole should be blocked out, at least in part way, by
Yeah.
the egg on top.
Yeah.
And those eggs represent people.
Yeah.
And eventually the hole is completely covered because
Yeah.
everyone collectively as a collective will
Yes.
have that knowledge.
Well, you'll have people who specialise in like managing sheep or in preserving food or gardening or poultry or whatever, you know, and like some people have that, like lots of knowledge in different areas, but there's always somebody who has got something or knows something or has skills in a certain area that, you know, you just don't have time or the capacity to learn about. So yeah, big fan of the whole kind of notion of it being a community endeavour rather than a kind of do it all on your own. I think being cynical about it, there's probably a degree of kind of self-sufficiency as an idea makes it seem unachievable, so people don't go for it.
Yes.
Like being really
that's
cynical
a great
about it.
take.
Like you could be self-sufficient and then people try.
And they go,
get
this is too hard.
And they go, I must be doing it wrong or I'm not good enough or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
do you know, I didn't even think of it like that.
I was thinking about it the other day and I was like, you know, I wonder if the whole kind of
That
like,
would not
self-sufficiency
surprise me
notion has
at
kind of been
all.
put out there to kind of put people off the idea of
Yeah,
like,
I mean-
of working together and actually having a community orientated view.
Yeah.
It's not quite lizard people conspiracy.
No, I feel like I think I would probably draw the line at lizard people.
But I think that is like quite a plausible one to keep
I
people
agree.
dependent on the capitalist hellscape.
I mean, you know me. I wouldn't consider myself a tin hat person.
Yeah.
But do I think the government has it out for us? And not us as in a specific group of people. Us as people. Yeah. Probably.
As someone who is on a civil service pay, I probably shouldn't say anything along those lines.
I am going to end the conversation here. Thanks for listening to the podcast, guys.
No, it's just, I just think that there's a lot to be said for actually having strong, resilient local communities.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, genuinely, not being like cynical or funny about it, but I think there's a lot to be said for it.
There is, and you have to be able to be receptive to that knowledge, right? Because you can be surrounded by all these eggs, but it's your choice whether you want to let them.
Exactly. Be part of what, and it's a trust thing, because you have to know that like everybody's got the same kind of vision that you do and the agenda, and no one like, you have to be quite sort of thoughtful about how it's done, because if somebody wants to, like, say, using the crofting thing, if somebody wants to be producing and competing with like the big guys who are selling like hundreds of lambs at the mart, like on a small scale you can't compete, but you can produce a different niche product, for example, like the Hebrideans. Like, we're never going to be able to compete with the big boys who've got like big farms and high inputs, but in terms of like our inputs are minimal, so we're not as reliant on like the current system situation, like with Iran and all the rest of it, where oil's going through and that's impacting then on fertilizer and on animal feed and then on like human diet and all the rest of it. Like, we're not in that same loop.
No.
Like, we're still dependent because we need fuel.
Yeah.
But we're not dependent on all the
If
other
shit hit the
inputs.
fan tomorrow, you wouldn't be
We could still manage our livestock.
straight down to Asda fist fighting an old
Exactly.
lady.
We could still manage our livestock, like,
Yeah.
and keep them on our patch, and we'd get by. Like,
You'd hobble through.
Yeah, exactly. But so we're not reliant on on the sort of wider system in the same way. I think there's definite sort of advantages to having
Huge advantages to that.
these little hardy, smaller native breeds. There's just a lot to be said for them.
Yeah.
There definitely seems to be a resurgence in the last few years where people are kind of actively looking for those products.
Yeah.
Which is good.
And you can see what your sheep look like on your crofting Instagram. You've got one.
Yep. Croft 167.
Croft 167.
Croft _167. I can't quite remember the handle, but it's there.
I'll put it in the podcast.
You put it in the podcast.
I'll link it somewhere.
Put it in the show notes, as they say.
On community, I want to talk about hindsight. Mm-hmm. You've just had your first annual.
Yeah. So, yeah, hopefully will be an annual event. We ran a winter camp.
Yep.
So hindsight, we first came together back in 2019. Just when I was starting out in the deer sector, it was very often that I was like the only woman in the room.
Yeah.
You were very much kind of on your own and isolated. And like, it was fine, you just get on with it. But you know, I was made to feel like there was something a bit weird about wanting to stalk deer, wanting to like do all this stuff.
Really?
Very much so. Not just like off men and women. That was like very much like there was people making you feel like that there was something.
It was just the
weird
vibe.
about it. It was just exactly.
Yeah. Not a great vibe, but it was just.
Yeah,
the vibe.
exactly. So you know, when you did then meet women who came out stalking like as clients to go stalking deer, it was kind of like, oh, this is so cool. Or you went into a meeting and you're kind of like, oh, hey, there's another. Hi, there's another one. Yeah, like the Spider-Man meme. And over time I was like, right, okay, there's got to be, like, there's not really a network or a way for us to, to like, how do we keep in contact? Or like, okay, what can we do? So I put out a bit of a call on social media, set up a day, just a kind of like Hill to Grill kind of day. I just
in
said,
2019?
Back in 2019, saying like,
Pre-COVID?
For women, yeah, pre-COVID, I know, the joys. Saying like, hey, we're going to be running this thing. Give us a shout if you're interested in coming along. I mean, we're in the North Highlands, so there were people who got in touch who said, I'm interested, but
I just can't
do it for a
travel
day.
that far,
That's a long way for a day. Got everybody, like, it was like 15 of us turned up, which, you know, for like just advertised on like personal social media I thought was pretty good going.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was all of a sudden like, okay, there's actually a few of us and we all know somebody else.
And was that just people involved in the deer sector,
and
or
that
was it
just
recreational stalkers?
It was recreational stalkers, professional stalkers. There was people who'd like never shot deer but were just interested.
Oh, really? Okay.
So it was like just, yeah, a whole, this little group kind of formed. And I said, right, okay, well, if you're all up for it, we'll just keep in contact like via WhatsApp. Just set up a little WhatsApp group, we'll keep in touch. And then
Okay, so it started off as like just a community.
Yeah, just very much kind of like this little organic group that kind of came together. Everybody hit it off. We all had quite a lot of like shared experiences, like good and bad, which is quite interesting in and of itself, because everyone's had to kind of find their own way, whether they were kind of like professionally working in the sector or just recreational stalkers. So it was kind of interesting, a lot of sort of commonality between everybody. And then over time, like, we've kept it so that it's very much, you know, you have to be kind of vouched for by somebody in the group already. So people have been added to it, and it's just grown, and it's just been this really lovely little, quite a slow growing community of people. And it's been really good that, you know, so if somebody's got a question of like, am I overreacting to this? Or
That's quite validating.
A real for like women in the sector, where especially where you are in your own. I mean, you know, like you go to a course and you're the only woman there in a group of like 10 people.
Yeah.
Like that's quite an intimidating environment. If someone makes a remark, you think, am I overreacting to this? Or is it just, is it banter?
Or is that out of
line? Is it
line?
a locker room? Or is it genuinely out of line?
Yeah.
And actually I do have an issue with this and I'm feeling validated. And so like we might not even have been able to do anything, but besides go, yeah, okay, that's wrong.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. Sharing recommendations of clothing, you know, because for
Kit is a
women
nightmare.
in the sector, kit is a complete bitch to get organised.
Yeah.
Stuff that actually fits or does the job and isn't just kind of...
The fit drives me insane. As someone with a large top end, we'll say, I will either have, or my problem is, one, they don't come making my size.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a big bitch, right? What do you mean your sizes stop at size 14? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because that's it. Like,
what? We're not fat people can't go up on the hill?
No.
You can. What do you mean? I can walk up there, no problem. I might be out of breath. I can get up there. I can get my ass up there. You expect me to do it without a shirt on?
no jacket. You've got to tough it out.
Yeah. Or it'll be bloody bright pink.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
and-
Well, that was the thing, pink it and shrink it.
Yeah,
You know,
pink it and
for
shrink
women,
it,
it's
yeah.
just like Helen, who says at the end of the day, we're not small blokes. We've got waists and boobs and butts and, you know, like we're just a different shape.
Yeah.
So like we don't want all, because that's the other problem is then the other sometimes go the other way and they sort of too feminize it and it becomes functionally useless
It
as
makes
well.
me laugh every single time. I think I sent you a video a little while ago of this lady talking about hiking gear, because it is literally any outdoor activity is plagued by this pink it shrink it thing. And she was just showing this coat and how it's cinched at the waist. It was like, I am a girl.
I saw that one.
Underneath all of this, I am a girl under here. And then it's a man, it's like, I am a box. Square. And that's it. And it's exactly the same with hunting gear.
Yeah.
Absolutely the same.
I think it's quite interesting because I was in Inverness the other week. I told you about it in the Hind industrial supplies, and like they've.
I still need to go.
You do need to go. It's great.
Every time I've been here, it's been either
So
shut or I haven't made it. Sorry.
So they have like they didn't have a huge ladies selection of clothing. I went in the other day, and actually they've extended the range, and they've now got, and for whatever reason, the New Zealanders are acing the market in women's clothing. So like Swazi and Stony Creek.
No worries.
And they had like a range of clothes and a range of sizes, and it's women's stuff, and it's functional, and it has pockets, and it has
Pockets.
I know.
How deep?
Like proper pockets.
Proper pockets.
And lots of
Fucking
them. So,
hell.
like you, not just like little cozy little pockets, but you have
can put
a
a
radio
button in.
pocket, and you have a mobile phone pocket on the inside, and they're like big hand pockets, and they're just like this has been thought about for people who actually want to function.
They
outdoors.
probably spoke to women.
Yeah, but yeah, probably. But it's like okay, so the New Zealanders are definitely getting it, and I don't know why they seem to have more of a sort of like accepting culture of like women as functional operators in the outdoors, and they need equipment and clothing to suit. So, shout out to them. But yeah, so yeah, the whole Hindsight group kicked off because we wanted it to just have this like network and community, because like I said, trying to do it on your own is really hard.
It's really hard, and bridging those knowledge gaps and having the community.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So and being able to go along to something and be like, right, okay, I don't know anything about rifle calibers, and all the guys on the forums get really het up about like really niche stuff. Most women I know, their first question is it legal, and does it work? And that's about as like as involved as most women want to get. I'm sure there's the odd one who's like seriously into reloading, but like most women just want to know what's legal and how functional.
And ultimately, that is like the basics.
And that is
what
like,
you need to know.
yeah, okay, that is like, can I actually shoot this at the species that I want to be culling? Yes. And will it do a good job? Yes. Then that's it. Box ticked. So it's like finding ways to demystify all that side of things, and because there's like a mystique about the whole deer stalking culture, like, and there's a few people who really thrive on like keeping that, gatekeeping it, basically.
It's because people like to feel cool.
Of course they do. Yeah, I mean, good for them, but
It's not conducive.
it's not conducive, especially when deer stalking, deer management has a severe demographic problem.
Yeah.
And in any population, if your population is majority old and male, it's doomed. Like any species on Earth, if you've got a lot of old
functionally
males,
extinct.
you're functionally extinct. So it came from this kind of okay, I'm really passionate about this sector. We need women, we need of all ages and stages, and we need young people.
Yeah.
And now I've got my own kids. It's a nightmare trying to get out and go stalking. I've been out a handful of times since having kids. I love my kids, and it will get easier, but it's so challenging, bridging the gap. And that's somebody who is like my partner is a deer stalker. I have a lot of connections in the sector. I could get out and go stalking. That side of it, I don't need to stress about. For someone who's completely new to it and establishing themselves, how the hell do you do that? Especially if you've got caring responsibilities or other stuff going on or work or
And
just
ultimately,
life.
if you're not...
And you're on your own and you haven't got connections.
Yeah, if you're on your own, you're not got connections. It also, being put in that position, if you're not really I am willing to drop everything, and that no one should have to make that decision.
No.
So stalking and hunting, that will always be at the bottom of the totem pole, especially compared to your kids.
Of course it is, exactly. So basically, Hindsight started out of this general kind of it would be cool to meet other women in the sector who are, or people not even in the sector, but just interested in deer, to what we're kind of building into now, which was this kind of community of women and men who are supporting us doing what we're doing. They're not, we're not excluding men, but we're actively including women. Yeah. I think that's our line, that we're kind of, because when you start up anything like this, there's always one or two that pull their face about being excluded, and it's yeah, but it's not for you. You're not the target audience.
And I think that a really good, I'm trying to think of the word, comparison of that is, there was a London fly fishing group. I don't know if you heard about it.
Yeah. Yes, I know that.
Okay. A lot of people wanted them to open membership up to women.
Yeah.
I also included myself in that and wanted women to be involved in that. And I totally get that some people said, well, it's a man's group, it's for men. Mm-hmm. And the difference for me is you have access to people, you have access to artefacts, really special of interest artefacts in your museum. And the prestige and the legacy that comes with that specific group. If you are a group of 5 guys and you're going down to the river and you're throwing in flies,
and you don't want your wives to turn up with you, then
who is? You're not withholding. You're not chasing women off the stream, right? No. But in that sense, you are depriving people of knowledge access. Yeah. And that for me is the big thing. So when people talk about I feel excluded, do you have something that replicates that knowledge almost exactly? Yeah, men have a lot of that in this sector.
Exactly.
A lot of that.
Exactly.
Pretty much everywhere else. Do women have that?
No.
Not a lot.
Exactly.
Very small amounts.
Exactly. So, yeah. It's just, I think it's been something that has been missing. So we hosted our first winter camp. So, we had this great energy after the whole 29 meeting and everything, and then 2020 COVID happened and
blew the world up.
And
everyone forgot how to drive.
Everybody forgot to drive. Nobody wanted to do anything or go anywhere. It was just, all the momentum just crashed and burned for a couple of years.
3, 4
basically.
years.
And then I had my daughter, and then got back into life, had my and then had my son, and then I've decided, right, okay, let's just do something, because there's, we're a few years down the line at this point, and like I said, with this little group had kind of grown, but it was right,
quite organically over that period.
We need to now do something in person and kind of get the ball rolling and sort of get people together. Can I just check the time? So we had this winter camp, and just again kind of, we didn't do masses of advertising, but just kind of threw it out there. Hey, we're running this event look at and learn about deer, some learn about butchery skills, rifle skills. It's for people who have shot, you know, some deer, any deer, or no deer, or just have an interest in learning more about them and how to manage them. I mean, we're based in Scotland. Everyone's aware that like managing deer in Scotland is kind of a big topic.
It's a big
discussion.
deal. Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, it was just an epic week, really.
It was hard going.
It
I was
was-
there as part of the media team.
Yeah, it was.
The weather,
The weather was horrific.
if you needed to be tested
That was
through
it.
the gauntlet,
That was it.
that was it.
I mean, it was genuinely one of the worst weeks of weather we had all winter. It was absolutely, like, they had the sort of, the Met Office had their black symbols for the wind all week.
Yeah.
And it was sleet and snow
Snow,
and
Rain,
hail,
wind,
cold, bitterly cold easterly
Fog.
wind. It was just horrible.
yeah.
So, but everybody turned up and they just absolutely bossed it.
Yeah, they killed it, didn't
They
they?
really did. They were incredible. But yeah, it was awesome. Like, and great energy all week.
Yeah.
And there were a few people there who'd been involved in like more traditional kind of like stalking, like running stalking parties and that sort of thing. And they said that it's such a different environment, like that all female environment.
You know, there was a female range master, female ecologist,
Yeah.
and all that knowledge was being
Yeah. The only people
passed.
who weren't female were the stalkers because of just nature of insurance on the estate we're on. So, but yeah, it's just the nature of the beast. You've got to work with what you've got, and they were great, to be fair.
Yeah, they were phenomenal.
Super supportive because we had people there who'd never like eaten venison or pheasant,
Yeah.
or
Game.
game, full stop.
And that was part of it, wasn't
never
it?
held a rifle. Had maybe seen deer, but that was about it. So it was from people who'd never done anything. It was such an amazing, supportive environment. It was just lovely. It was a proper high. We were all on a high off it for a month afterwards. And I had messages from people going, "I've gone back to like normal life."
Yeah.
It's just like, what on earth?
Yeah.
Because it was just it was a really different environment to I think anything that probably anybody had been exposed to. And it was, I mean, the first couple of days we had people out on the hill stalking, and then others were, the ones who hadn't had rifle exposure were getting taught and trained how to use rifles safely, doing a bit of range work, just building confidence and that side of things. And then, everybody kind of swapped out over the first few days just to kind of, everybody got hill time, could stalk deer, everybody got a chance, even the ones who had more experience.
That's the thing, they were stalking on the hill, they weren't just sat in high seat, they were out in it.
Exactly, they were out in it and like, really working their butts off.
Yeah.
Because, like snow melt streams we waded across and like crawling in through, just because we're like flow country, for anybody who doesn't know, it's like just blanket bog.
Yeah.
And blanket bog means it's wet on the tops and the sides of hills as well as like on the bottom of the valley.
It's just wet.
It's just wet and mossy and some more wet. It was and it was they did amazing. And there wasn't a single complaint all week of anybody.
No.
Because we've had guys turn up kind of like, "Oh, my feet are wet." And these girls were, like I said, wading streams and in kit very often that wasn't because like, you can't afford to go out and buy a whole new hunting suit.
No.
So they were wearing like, a cheap pair of old trousers or kind of just,
Walking
boots and, whatever they had basically. So it wasn't, stuff that was kind of top of the range, keep you dry hunting equipment, which a lot of like the guys turn up with because they are all established hunters. They can invest in that equipment.
And is there anything that you're planning to do in the future in terms of care?
Yeah. So this is an idea that there's I can't remember, was it you or somebody else? It's a project being run in the States called Deer Camp, and they run a kit library for women who go to events to use kit and equipment. So that's what we're establishing basically.
Okay.
So that people who are coming to events can actually, like, if they turn up and they genuinely have something to wear jacket-wise that is not suitable and it will not keep them like warm and dry, we can help basically, because all this stuff is an investment.
Yeah.
It's a huge investment.
So we'd be looking for things like Boots, trousers,
Boots,
overalls, jackets.
yeah, just all the stuff.
Well, if there's any brands listening, give us a call.
Give us a shout.
Yeah. Megan's partner's outside.
I have to go and do a sponsored walk at the nursery. Yeah, so we're basically looking to establish a kit library so that when we run events in future, people can, have access to this stuff without having to make the investment, because you might not know if you want to do more of it. Mm-hmm. But we should all have the opportunity to
try.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of one of the things we're looking to do. It's just such a great scheme, and there just isn't anything like that here. So I thought, why not us? So we're looking to do another winter camp because it was just such a success. And just brilliant event, and had a great team helping run it as well. Because like I said, for me, the big thing is being able to like balance having the kids and work and like animals to look after and all the side of things with actually running this stuff. Like I'd love to do it full time. Like genuinely, it'd be great, but life happens and we've got other stuff on. We've got to make a living and make sure the wee folk are fed and all the rest of it. So it's so what we're in the process of Hindsight becoming a community interest company. So hopefully by the time this goes live, we'll
be fully up and running
as a community interest company, because it gives us that sort of like formality to what we want to do. We genuinely do want to help address this gap that exists in the sector. It's unfortunate, but just don't get taken quite so seriously if you're kind of a bunch of girls just hanging out.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is in the capitalist hellscape. So it's all going in good direction, but and we've been, I'd like to get us to the stage, like probably not this year because just got to be realistic about capacity, but perhaps do like even a summer camp, looking at different species, different area to go stalking in, and that's also something that's going to happen as well. It's not just about going out and stalking deer, but it's about learning the skills about managing. Like I said, because
there was butchery.
Yeah, there was exactly. There's butchery. So everybody who came, like, was skinning deer, butchering, breaking up carcasses, getting everything packed, and we were able to take some venison away with them. So it was like the full parcel, but not just being shown, but like properly hands on. Yeah. Like, the whole 9 yards. It was just it was a great week, really, really brilliant, and definitely I think we're all pretty keen to repeat the experience next year.
Yeah, definitely.
And do other stuff as well as we grow and develop.
So eyes on the woman.deer.land Instagram handle.
That's it.
For Hindsight.
Yeah. I mean, if people want to see what we're up to that week, there's loads of like lovely videos, and we've got a nice little sort of feature length film coming out about
very soon.
Everything. So that'll be on YouTube. So go and check that out as well. Just get a flavour of what we're doing and what we're hoping to do more of, really.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much.
No problem.
Spending the time to speak to me.
No problem. I'm delighted that you're able to come up here and like chat face to face.
Chat shit.
So good. Exactly. It's awesome.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Right, you have a sponsored walk to get to, and I am going to let you throw the microphone off and zip out the door. I have no watch, but I know we're on a time budget.
No, it's good. It's all good. We're grand.
All right.
But there you go.
Thanks, Meg.
Cheers.